Salvi, owner of the North Shore Navigators. Pat, we know you're here in town to watch the Navs, but I know there's another reason why I believe you're at the Blackhawks-Bruins game last night, Game 6, heartbreaker. Now, you're a Blackhawks fan. How was it to see the Blackhawks hoist the cup at the Garden last night?
Well, ordinarily, an owner, I probably shouldn't alienate any of our fans, but I have to say that I'm a big Blackhawk fan, and the fans were shocked last night in the last minute and a half. So it was a lot of fun.
Now, this is your second year as the Navigators owner. Last year, you got about halfway through. This year and last year, have you seen any progress with the Navigators, and have you seen the town of Lynn really come around this baseball team?
Yeah, the city, the fans, we're growing our brand. I think the people in the area in the North Shore recognizing this is a great place for family entertainment and fun. And, that takes some time, and I think we've made some great progress in that regard.
Now, we know that you also own a couple of other independent baseball teams. What brings you to buy these baseball teams? Is it for your love of baseball? What is it?
Yeah, I love baseball. I love sports. I love the business of sports. I'm a trial lawyer by trade, so this is a great relief. And it's more than a hobby because it's a pretty intense business, but it's just a love of sports and sports business.
Pat, we really appreciate the interview. Good luck to you and the Navs the rest of the season.
Thanks.
Here I am with Bill Terlecki, General Manager for the North Shore Navigators. Now, Bill, what does it take to be a general manager?
Well, you got to be a pretty versatile guy. I mean, if you followed me around on a given day, you'd see the myriad of duties we do. And no duty is too small and no duty is too big. I mean, we want the ballpark to be clean. We want the fans to enjoy themselves. We've got food and beverage to run. We've got promotions to do. So it's one of the neat things about the job that you certainly, not to use the cliche, you wear many hats.
You have been involved with the game of baseball for 30 years. What is your most proudest moment?
Well, probably back in 1995, I was a general manager of the Scranton Club in the AAA baseball. We hosted the AAA All-Star Game. That was a very, very nice thing to have all of your colleagues come into your town and you showcase what you're doing. So that's probably the highlight. But, I still enjoy every day. I mean, so it's hard for me to really say what was the most fun or what was the best thing. I mean, and I love the Navigators and the league, what we're doing here now, too.
Now, I have to ask, what has been your most embarrassing moment?
Well, gosh, I'd have to think a little bit on that. There have been many, many of them. I mean, you've kind of got me on the spot here. I don't know that I'm going to come up with one, but I could tell you all I could say is this is in general is that every day you come to the ballpark and something happens that you didn't plan on, you didn't know about, you didn't know what was going to happen, and you've got to deal with it, but as far as embarrassing, I mean, that's hard to say. I think you've got to be the kind of guy when you have this job that you've got some thick skin, and you're making a decision every 15 or 20 minutes. You're not going to get them all right. Some things are going to happen. Some plans aren't going to work out that you wanted, but. I guess I don't really get embarrassed that much. I just kind of try to roll with it and go on to the next thing,
Behind us here at Fraser Park, you have a lot of sponsors. What did you personally do to get all of these sponsors here?
Well, I'm pretty much, just like with all the clubs in our league, the only corporate sales guy, and I start in October, and it's just knocking on doors, and it's really it's a process. I mean, if anybody thinks you just pick up the phone and call John's Roast Beef and he says, yeah, okay, I'm good. It's a tedious process. It takes us a long time over the winter, but it's just one of the other skills that you have to have. As a general manager, I mean, I think really your number one thing is to be a salesman, and at the end of the day, everything is sales. Everything you're doing, you're convincing somebody, you're buying, but a lot of phone calls, ma'am, a lot of no's for some of those yeses out there. Trust me, but we did okay this year.
And I'm hearing you're a big quote guy. What is your quote of the day?
Okay, we'll give you our Joe DiMaggio theory. Joe was playing in a game once, and there were about 400 people there, and he made a lot of great catches in the outfield, running, everything, just put on a great show. And they asked him after the game, they said, Joe, geez, there was almost anybody here and nobody here, why such an effort? And Joe said, because there might be somebody here that was seeing me play for the very first time, and I want them to have that impression. And I've taken that into how we operate here. Every night it could be somebody's first night. And so I call it the Joe DiMaggio theory. We want to, give our best every night, no matter what.
Excellent. All right, this has been Bill Terlecki, General Manager for the North Shore Navs. Carolyn Azak here with Taylor Gillette, Comptroller for the Nashua Silver Knights. Now, me and Taylor have something in common since we both go to Bridgewater State, but actually Taylor just graduated, congratulations, from Bridgewater. And what was your major at Bridgewater?
Accounting and finance with a management minor.
And while at Bridgewater, what were you hoping to do when you graduated?
I was hoping to work in sports, but pursue my accounting degree, and it's been a great pleasure doing what I wanted to do. So
now you wear many hats here at Holman Stadium. You're always running around, basically managing everybody who works within the stadium. Tell us a little bit, a day in the life of what exactly you do here.
Well, usually I do all the accounting, all the receivables and the payables and all that, and then I also manage the souvenir store, all the merchandise, all that. We do the kids area. We're working pretty much everywhere, just managing everything. There's only a couple of us up here full time, so it's pretty fun to wear many hats. Every single day, you never know what's going to happen.
And how did you end up here at the Nashua Silver Knights? I know that you worked with the Lowell Spinners before. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I worked with the Lowell Spinners 2 years ago. I interned with them. I was a ticket office intern, and then the next year I decided to want to do something in accounting, and I went and they had an opportunity that opened up here in Nashua for their accounting system office manager. And so I ended up doing that, and then by the end of the summer, they hired me full-time, and now I'm here after I just graduated. So
That's awesome. Now, can you give any advice to anybody at Bridgewater State or at any college, per se, that's looking to go into sports and do exactly what you do?
Well, since Bridgewater doesn't have a sport management program, which I really wanted to do originally, I decided, why don't I go for business and do the management part of a degree, and then I would try to get experience on my resume in sports. And then obviously try to somehow put the experience on my resume and then the degree on my resume and go from there. But other than that, I think you really have to try to get out there and work hard to try to get an internship, and even if it's unpaid, because in sports it's not very highly paid. So yeah, you have to love it. You have to learn to love it because it's not cut out for everybody. So.
All right. Thank you, Taylor. That was Taylor Gillette working for the Nashua Silver Knights.